was gonna say that shit. All that. This bitch. She called me with my mouth open. All that. So excited. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel.
So if you want to see how I cover up my tattoo, just keep on watching. So the products you'll be needing are concealers of your choice. I have a palette of concealers, the Huda Beauty concealer, Dior foundation. This is the old one that they had, the Dior Forever. I know they just redid it, so they have a new one, and the matte and the glow. I would recommend the matte though, only because the glow, you don't want your skin to be glowy if you're trying to cover up a tattoo. So any foundation that you have that's matte or water resistant or waterproof. A color corrector, I'm using a peach one in this wheel, or you can use a red or pink or peachy lip liner as a color corrector as well, depending how dark your tattoo is. And a loose setting powder of your choice, something translucent. This one is from Kat Von D. And then for brushes, I have a small detail brush, a powder brush, and the foundation brush. You can even use a beauty blender as well. So to get started, I'm gonna go in with the peach color corrector. So anything orange or peachy. And I'm gonna go in and start patting it. So my tattoo is pretty large. If you are trying to cover up a tattoo like this for everyday work, I would say don't even try to do it, because this is gonna take quite a bit of time to do every morning. But if this is something that you're trying to do for a small tattoo or for a special event like a wedding or an interview, just follow the same steps that I'm doing. So first color corrector, and then we're gonna set it with the powder. So you can kind of already see the difference between this edge over here versus the other black that I have. You can even go in with the liner just to see which one works better. This is red, so it's gonna be a little bit more pigmented. I'm just gonna do like little dashes. I'm not gonna put too much, only because my skin is pretty fair, so you will see the red poking through a lot more. And I'm gonna use that same small detail brush and just kind of rub it on top. So next, setting powder. The reason why you wanna set the color corrector before you put foundation or concealer on is so your color corrector does not mix with your concealer or foundation, because then your concealer and foundation are gonna turn the same color as the color corrector. The reason why I'm using a fluffy brush is so it doesn't pick up a lot of the product that we just laid down. So after that, you will see it is a bit of a layering process. You can see that it somewhat covered it up, not completely, but that's where the concealer and the foundation will do the rest of the work. So I'm gonna go in with the concealer and pat it on. So just patting the concealer on top. I'm just playing around with different colors. So I'm mixing this lighter one here and then a more peachy one here. Whenever it comes to covering up a tattoo, I always recommend either go to your local Sephora or have someone try to color match you first. Unless you already have these items at home, you're always gonna need help picking out a color because it could oxidize. And then also the color that you might use on your face might not match the color on your body. So just keep that in mind. That already looks pretty good. I'm gonna go in with more setting powder. And after setting powder, more foundation. You can just pump it directly on. And then I'm gonna actually show you guys, I'm gonna put foundation on all over this tattoo so you can see the difference between the part where I did the color corrector and then the part that has no color corrector on it. So you can kind of decipher for yourself. I feel like a lot of people think that you can just buy foundation and that it'll do the trick. And that might not be the case, no matter how full coverage. So you can see some parts, like these edges here, look better than the others. But the ones that look more black are gonna show through a little bit more. But like over here, I had a lot more, and you can see a lot better that it's more covered up versus like this part here where it's still poking through. I mean, you can if you want to just use foundation, but it's gonna be a lot more cakey. It's gonna be a lot better if you just do the color corrector first. It's gonna cover it up better, and then plus if you're covering up a little tattoo like maybe someone's name or something like that, it's a lot more detail. So I did it over here. I don't know if you guys can tell. And then just do more setting powder on top just so it doesn't get on your clothes. You can see, so that's like foundation here. You can still see that poking through. But then over here with the color corrector, you don't see it as much. So I'm just gonna set what we just did. So the part with the color corrector is this right over here. I know it's confusing because I just did foundation like all over, but it's gonna be like this little section right there. And you can even go over like the part where the black is still peeking through. You can go over with more color corrector. Like let's say you did foundation first. You can go over and cover up the black even more. See the difference versus the black here? So that's color corrector. You can see the color corrector is darker than my skin, so obviously I would have to put more concealer or foundation just to even it out with the rest of my skin tone. I'm gonna go in with the Huda Beauty concealer and just go over what we just did. And you can even take your finger too. You don't have to use a brush if you don't want to, or a beauty blender. It's always patting. If you're swiping and rubbing, you're gonna ruin everything you just did. The only place I'm gonna swipe and rub is like where I don't have my tattoo, like my elbow. But pat over the tattoo. But you can blend out the edges on your skin. You guys can see. I'm not gonna cover up my whole arm. I'm gonna take forever doing that, but just so you can see like little sections, like here, that's completely covered. So Actually, I'm gonna take some off so you guys can see kind of like a before and after. So I'm just gonna take some micellar water. So this is the part that I just covered up right here. Oh my god, that covered up so well, it's like even hard to take off. And now it's being revealed. I bet you guys forgot that was even there. Damn, I almost forgot that was there. I'm like, where's my tattoo? Okay. So you can kind of see. So that was the part that had the color corrector on. And then this is just the part with the foundation. You can still see it poking through. You can use these exact steps that if you're not trying to cover up a tattoo, maybe you're trying to cover up a hickey, you're still going to need some kind of color corrector, or even for a dark under eye circle, if it's hereditary, a peach color corrector will work. Or I know a lot of people have been using color correctors for blemishes or acne. You can use like a green or yellow for that. But for anything that's as dark as a tattoo or like maybe a bruise or a hickey, I would still recommend like a peach color of some sort. The only time I recommend some kind of like lip liner is if you have like line work that you want to just outline, because you're not going to want to cover up everything with color corrector because it's going to be a waste of product. You're just going to want to outline the little details. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you took something away from me covering up a tattoo, learned some tips and tricks.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications